Okay, and welcome to episode 2 of the Horizon Podcast. Once again, I am Ron Allman, professor of journalism media at Indiana University Southeast, and this is where we're recording the podcast from New Albany, Indiana, at the IU Southeast campus at the Horizon radio station. Today we have Bango, Josh, Ben, and Courtney. And we thought we'd just continue on doing some introductions and the like. So getting to know the personalities on the podcast. And before we started recording this podcast, I had asked them, what do people often wrongly assume about you? And of course, I can answer that question as they continue thinking. And what people usually wrongly assume about me is when they hear the word, professor, they, start thinking of the professor from Gilligan's Island and, him making like a telephone out of coconuts but couldn't repair a ship, that type of thing. So yeah, they have this view of what a professor is created by media that, I certainly don't fit into that mold and wouldn't want to fit into that mold, but I am a college professor. I can prove it to you if I had to and all that other good stuff. So, all right. Who wants to begin?
You said you had the story beforehand. I'll just start with you.
I have
Speak it to the microphone.
I have a silly one and a not so silly one. Which one do you guys want to hear first?
Let's do the silly one, of
The
course.
silly one? Okay. So I had some friends that I only know online, and I had messaged with them a lot before, and it took about a year until we actually talked one-on-one with our voices on. So not in person, but over a VC chat. And when I did, one of them responded, "Whoa, I did not imagine you'd sound like that." And I asked, what did you assume I sounded like? And he said, "I always pictured in my mind as you sounding like JFK."
Okay, so kind of a Boston accent?
I guess so. I was like, okay, I mean, I'll take that as a compliment, I guess, but
Yeah.
no, I'm not from there.
Yeah.
I would say most things people get. This is kind of like, just because it's only happened twice, I feel like I'm an open book. So for the most part, like if you talk to me for 20 minutes, you can basically get who I am. But the big one I think is rather politically. I dress very like, I guess hipster's the word. So people think I'm kind of with that, and that fell into politics. When I was in high school, people asked me to speak at certain things just because I was good at speaking because I was in radio. But I'm very apolitical. I don't consider myself under any party. I don't really follow politics. I try to stay away from it. But it was like super annoying when I was a kid because I think I have a good ear. Like people love to talk to me, so they'll just call on about political issues, and I'd be like, all right, like I'm not gonna back you up, not gonna denounce you. I'm just here, and it got annoying at times, but that's just something, I guess, from like a physical appearance that people kind of get wrong. That's like the one thing that has happened multiple times.
I could
Gordon?
go off. Oh, sorry. What were you going to say?
Oh, I was just going to cue one of you.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I could go off of a physical appearance time. So I go to kind of like a smaller gym, and whenever I first started going there, I didn't know many people, and so I would just kind of keep to myself and mind my own business. And this one guy one time, I guess, thought I was giving him dirty looks, so he went up to the owner of the gym and was like, "You need to find out what this girl's problem is. Like, why is she always giving me nasty looks?" And I'm actually friends with the person who owns it, so she came up to me and she was like, "Are you giving this guy dirty looks?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And so then she kind of pointed him out, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, no, I didn't even realize I was looking at him. Like, oh no." But then she was like, went up to him and was like, "No, Courtney's the nicest person you'll ever meet. You're just gonna have to get to talk to her and know her." And now we're really good friends and everything. And he was like, "I'm so sorry for judging you." And I was like, "Oh, it's okay." Yeah. He was like, "You just have a really bad resting face." And I was like, "Oh,
Okay.
okay."
That only slightly stings.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't do anything about that.
People
mid lifting away, you're like,
yeah. No, I guess I was just sitting there with a straight face or something. He's like, "What's wrong with her?" And I was like, "I didn't have a problem. I guess it's just me."
Yeah.
But I'm really nice. I'm not mean.
Bingo.
A lot in high school. I had a very I kind of wrecked my reputation in high school, but that was self-inflicted. I was always trying to like, do outlandish things to like make my friends laugh, but it was always at the expense of my reputation.
Yeah.
So like I developed like a in high school, and it's like permanent. I don't even know, like people who knew me in high school will forever like assume that I'm like the this like delinquent person, this like type of guy who like will do nothing but wrong. But
well, we know that's not true here.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, well, now that high school's passed and I've matured a little bit, like I like to think I became a different person, but people who have ever heard things about me will probably make an assumption that I'm,
Still that person.
yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe I wasn't even that person then. It was just I was just trying to be goofy,
Right.
Yeah.
So, what are you the go-to person for in your family or social circle? And I guess I can give you an example once again. With computers, when my mother used to have a problem with her computer, she would call me, and I would tell her, you have another son who has a degree in computer science. And she would say, well, you're much more relaxed and laid back about it. You don't yell at me. And it's like, well, one, why would I yell at you? And two, yeah, that is true. But, that's kind of like saying, I need my brakes fixed in my car. So I drove to my hairdresser because my hairdresser is not, a lot of fun to talk to. It's like, yeah, she's not gonna, be able to, fix your car, but all right, I'll give it a shot, that type of thing. So, but so they see me as the go-to person for computer problems. I guess my brother, who actually has a degree in computer science from Purdue, I call him when I have problems with my car because he's also a certified mechanic. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah, so it makes sense that that's the person you would call, if you had a problem with that. But, just don't call the child that you have that's the most relaxed if you, needed something like that. So, what about y'all?
If it's for family, I'm the tallest one in my family. So
Okay.
I'm the designated ladder, as I like to call it. So just also, I got long arms too. So and I'm not even that tall. I'm 5'9". That's about as average as you can get.
That's pretty average, yeah.
So but my mom's 5 foot. I was always, even growing up, getting pans off the top shelf, like that kind of thing. So I used to make that joke. I was like, without me, there'd be ladders every 2 feet in this house.
Little step stools.
Yeah, with friends, I'm the more extroverted one. My friends are very introverted, so if we go out, let's say like a bowling alley, I'll go up to the counter, talk to the guy saying, 4 of us, whatever lane.
Yeah.
We're out to eat and someone wants to speak up and ask for something, I'll speak on their behalf because I got no problem with it. But that's about the only thing is I'm like relying on. But overall, I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Do you have anything, or do you want me to
I got one.
Okay, go ahead.
So in my family, I'm known as the country expert or the flag guy. So if anyone there's been times where my sister has gone up to me with this image of a flag saying, what country is this? I'm like, oh, that's Armenia. And say my parents sometimes will text me, hey, what flag is this? Like, oh, that's the state steel of Ohio. Really random ones like that. And nearly like 90% correct ratio, I always get them right. There's a few times where I won't know them, but usually it's because it's a flag that's not real.
Yeah.
But that's happened on occasion.
Yeah.
Or since it's not a flag at all.
Or something really new.
Yeah. Or that. And then point out a random spot on the globe, I can say what country it is instantly. That one hasn't happened as much as the flags, but sometimes it does. Just anything country related, I'm your guy.
What flag is that?
Bosnia and Herzegovina.
You nailed it. Wow, that's actually, I'm very impressed. Wow.
in the Balkans of Europe. It's the punching bag of Serbia and Croatia.
What's its populate? No, I'm kidding.
I don't know that.
All right, Indiana Jones.
I've got a couple. So for my family, I've always been, I don't know why, but I've always been the type of person to want everything clean and everything organized. So when new seasons come in, like say summer, I will get rid of all of my winter clothes. Like everything's gone. And I don't have a problem with it because like seasons come back and like
Right.
I can get clothes back and everything. But I don't just throw them away. Like I'll donate them and everything. So
Right.
it's not like I'm being wasteful. But everybody else in my family like has this problem with holding on to things that they haven't like touched or worn or used even in like a year.
Mhm.
And I've got like a rule. If you haven't worn it, touched it, used it, anything in 3 months,
Mhm.
get rid of it.
Yeah.
And so like, especially with my mom, she'll be like, can you help me? And so like, we'll go in her closet and we'll just start raiding. And she's like, but I need that. And I'm like, when's the last time you wore it? And she's like, oh, well, like last year at this event. I'm like, girl,
Mhm.
get rid of it. But with like friends, I feel like it's more of a fun one. I'm always down to go out to eat or like go do something fun, just anything out, extroverted, just I'm always down for anything. So I'm just the person somebody will call just with their fun ideas.
So where do you donate your clothes at?
Really anywhere. So there's a place called Mustard Seed.
Yep.
In Floyd's Knobs that I go to. I'll also just take them to like Goodwill's by my house. There's also this new place on Grant Line Road by the Walmart. It's called the Wishing Well. It's a new thrift store.
Mhm.
I would say it's probably been there a few months, but I started taking stuff there because they've always been asking for donations, and
Right.
they actually give back to schools and stuff. So
Okay.
I've been liking taking my stuff there.
So you just straight out donate, or do you try to, do consignment sales?
I've done consignment sales a few times, but most of the time it's kind of time consuming. So I'd rather just get rid of it, knowing it's probably going to go to a good place.
Yeah.
Or I'd like to think that at least.
Yeah. Bingo.
I'm usually the guy that makes my friends laugh, so I'm always the guy that in the group that's probably making the funniest jokes. Other than that, I mean, my friend groups, I guess they also come to me because I always have interesting hangout ideas.
Mhm.
I always have some place that they never heard of, and I know like spots around that have been normal places we go to now. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of outgoing, so whenever I go find something new, I bring my friends to it.
Cool. Yeah. All right. What is something that other people find gross but doesn't bother you? Now, my answer to this is difficult because, I have children and they, survived through infancy. So, yeah, there's a lot of gross things involved in that. And I mean, I'm not ready to do that again, but yeah, my threshold for gross is pretty high. And yeah, so I don't think much bothers me. Smells bother me more than seeing things.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess most things was the answer for me.
I think I'm just more tolerant.
Mm-hmm.
Like I find some like hair in the drain.
Yeah.
My dad could like look at it, go in a different room and throw up.
Mhm.
Me, I'm like, yeah, that's gross if I can get it out.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like there's like I feel like there's certain things like that where I can function enough to remove it without physically like giving up on myself. So I would say like that.
Mhm.
But like you said, it's more smells. Like I
Oh,
can't.
yeah.
Big thing for me is bonfire. I can't.
Really?
Like I don't know what it is. I like going to bonfires, but like
Mhm.
driving back, it sticks on your clothes. I'm like, I need to
Mhm.
shower and clean everything I touch.
Yeah,
that
immediately,
drives me
yeah.
That's
nuts.
actually a good one because I'm the same way with the smell. I enjoy my time while I'm there,
Right.
but then once I leave and get in my car, I'm like, oh.
Yeah. You got to get rid of that. Yeah.
And it's not even like it's not even this. It's not the smoke smell. I don't even know if this is a real thing. it's like the fire itself. You know what I mean? Or like the sticks. I feel like I smell
maybe,
like
yeah.
the woods.
Like the embers.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Well, didn't have a problem with that.
For me, it's my room is not clean at all. It looks like a bomb went off in there. It is just a complete disaster. That goes from my home room and my dorm room. Both of them look awful, and I just don't really care.
What's like the severity? Like on a level from like there's clothes on the floor or there's like roaches in the walls? Like what's the
The home one, there might be roaches in the walls. The dorm one, you can still walk through it.
there you go.
I'm a clean freak. I kind of let a lot of things bother me.
I'm this exact same way.
Like, it shouldn't bother me.
Mhm.
But if I go in, like, my brother's room and there's a cup on his, like, bedside table, I'm like,
Right.
get that off. And he's like, it's my room. I'm like, it's dirty.
Yeah.
But it's not actually dirty at all. I just know it's there. And just because I know it's there, I want it gone.
I understand that.
I don't care for mud. Mud drives me nuts. That's like one
Really?
exception. Anything muddy, cannot take it.
Yeah, the mud itself is fine, but the smell of mud, it
Yeah, I
brings,
get you.
That'll get me. Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't make me have to find a private spot to vomit, but it just it's not pleasant. I guess is
What about casinos? Have y'all been in a casino?
Oh
Yes.
yeah, definitely.
I
yeah.
hate the smell of casinos. I like to be there, but I don't like. You know how like they pump like the scent in the air, like
Yeah.
moving and stuff. I can't stand it.
Yeah,
I feel like
it smells like cigarettes, potpourri, and despair.
I would say probably the saddest place I've ever seen on this planet with my own eyes is probably a casino.
Yeah.
No one looks like they're having fun and it just reeks in there.
Oh, I have fun. It's just I can't stand the smell.
Yeah.
So you wake up in the morning, it's $500 out of your
Oh, I
wallet.
know. I don't go often. It's just when I do, it's like, I don't know. The moment's fun.
I'd gamble with friends. That's my choice.
Yeah.
Say I went to Vegas when I was relatively young because I have family there, and that was quite a shocker having to go through there. It was awful.
That's a different. Yeah.
I still remember it.
Yeah. Probably the most depraved place I've been though is still the infield during Kentucky Derby.
Yes.
Oh.
Lord.
Yeah, it's scary. It really is. And
So one time at Derby in the infield, my friend dropped her phone in a porta potty. And
it's gone. Yeah.
oh no, she had this guy friend at the time. They weren't even dating. He went up to a police officer and was like, "Hey, do you all have any gloves that would like go up to my elbow?" And he thought they were gonna say no, and they said yes.
Oh,
So
right
they
there,
literally
right
had to he put this
That man's a hero.
glove on and was like digging around, but like wasn't looking at it. And like me and my friend were like, "Ugh," but he found it. I don't know what she did with
Wow.
it. I was like, "You can't use it."
I would've
And
set it
she
on
was like,
fire.
"Well, I can just try and go trade it in." And I was like, "Trade it in?" I was like, "Gonna poop on it." But
Yeah.
nope, they found it, and now they're not together, and she's getting married, and I'm like, where is that man that stuck his
Yeah.
hand in
Yeah.
the porta
We may
potty?
need just keep him on speed dial. You never know when you may need him.
I never got the point of Kentucky. I get the point of how it's entertaining.
Horse racing.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, I was gonna say that I don't get gambling on horse. Like I get
yeah.
like casinos and casinos because it's unpredictable. Like if it's poker amongst friends, there's some level. Obviously, it's luck based, but there's some level of strategy. Like even like an element of blackjack.
Mhm.
But like craps, roulettes. I'm like horse races. I'm like really gonna like. It's okay if it's for fun. Like what's that thing? Like bet whatever you're not afraid to lose.
Right.
Like we're just doing it for fun. Go you. But I had somebody that was like, he talked about horse racing like it was a science. Statistically, number 7 on the bill, they're the most biggest winners. I'm like, yeah, by maybe a slight decibel point in history.
Mhm.
That's the only thing that grates me about that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Lots of money is won and lost there.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and lots of alcohol is consumed. So. Anyways, back to gross stuff.
Oh yeah.
So it's stuff that I don't find gross that
Correct,
everyone
that
else
other
does.
people do. Yeah.
I don't find cigarettes that gross, even though I always found it confusing when people really hated like cigarettes.
Right.
I mean, I guess the effects that it causes the human body
Mhm.
can be one thing, but people always have a problem with the smell, the way they look. And I've never had a problem with that. I've always thought the smell wasn't too bad. And I mean, it's kind of gross what it does to like your teeth or like to like walls or like your car.
Oh yeah.
But other than that, like I don't really have a huge problem with it.
My only problem with it was the smell itself. I don't like it. I'm not gonna say it's like horrid, but my
I
thing.
actually enjoy it.
Well, my thing, it's like bonfire. It just sticks to everything. So, like, my friend's mom smoked, like, a chimney. So I'd walk out of the house, and it would be, like, in my hair. My mom would just shoot me straight in the shower every single time when I was, like, 8 years old. That's my only, like, I don't like it. I get it. Like, I can live with it. It's not going to kill me. But it's like that bonfire. Anything that's so strong that it sticks to your clothes, your hair, even when you're not doing it, that's my only gripe with it.
Yeah. Okay, when was the last time you were proud of yourself? That's a good question.
Never.
Well, never's not a good answer.
Well, I have a whole, like, philosophy on it.
Oh, okay.
So I am very, like, I don't celebrate my birthday. I don't like being celebrated by people or myself. I don't know for the life of me what it is. I don't know if it's psychological, but my big thing is, like, I graduated high school. Like, I get that can be a big accomplishment for some people.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm like, 90% of the population, what do I got to be proud of? Like, and even kind of the same way to college, I'm a junior now, here in a year. I'm like, I mean, yeah, I guess not a lot of people are going to college as they used to, but still, I'm like, I expect myself to get A's because I like to, like, put myself as, like, a smart person. So I'm just like, if I do it, I can't be proud of myself because I just met achievement. If I solve a disease, then yeah, then I'll be proud of myself. But to me, I don't think I've ever done anything that I've ever like I've had moments where I was like, oh, that's cool. Or like, yeah, you know what? That was a great time. I did good. But I've never been like, I am so absolutely proud of myself for what I did. I'm just like, hey, I expected myself to do good and I did it. I'm not proud. I just met expectations.
I'm like the exact opposite. I want to celebrate everything. Even when it's like not me. Like I want a party for everything that happens. Even like if my friend does something, if my brother does something, my mom does something, I'm like, party, party, party. And then sometimes they're like, Courtney, you don't need like a get together for that. I'm like, yes, you do.
Yeah, why not?
We need balloons.
I wash my car. Party.
Yeah, I know.
I'll bring over the vodka. Well, not everyone graduates from high school. It turns out it's only 87%, but yeah, that's,
Well, my
90.
relatively everyone, yeah.
Well, my thing is I tried really hard in school.
Right.
So my thing, it's literally, that's probably the biggest philosophy. I expect myself to do it. So if I meet it, I just did what I thought. If I did it and went beyond, like I never went for honors. If I got honors in high school, which I didn't, then maybe I would have been proud of myself. And then that kind of goes to the argument of, well, maybe you should push yourself if you're claiming to be this like great student.
Right.
That's a whole nother conversation. But to me, that's just like, I've just met what I was supposed to do. Like, kind of, I made that analogy. If I'm want to do radio, if I'm out on the Pacers being their head broadcaster, then I'll be proud of myself because then I really hit top of the peak and like reaching a dream I want. Until then, it's just like, I can't really say I've been proud of myself.
I was pretty proud of myself that I got this podcast on Spotify. So it was like, not like going to have a party or anything like
Look
that.
at you.
But it definitely was like, cool.
Any terms of service?
Oh, yeah, there's plenty of terms. I didn't read them.
Okay.
Yeah, so I probably owe someone a kidney somewhere. But, you don't need both of them, right?
True.
At least, that's what they say. So. We got a good 6 more minutes. Yeah.
I made a resin print.
You were proud of yourself on that?
Well, technically I made 2. But I managed to use resin, which is this chemical, and it was heated with UV to make a Lego part, in my case, a Lego mask that's really intricately detailed and doesn't exist in reality. So got to make that, made 2 of them, 2 different kinds, and I was really proud of that because it was a lot of effort to get that to happen.
Right, yeah. If it was easy, everyone would do it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably the time when I built a clothing brand.
Oh, cool.
Oh, there you go.
When I did that, I was pretty proud of myself because of all the money and time and and also I learned a lot about legal stuff like business licenses and stuff.
Right.
So that was probably I was proud of myself for that. Still am.
Oh yeah, that sounds like something that you definitely should be proud of. So
I like how it went from I'm not proud of myself. Oh, I made something at throw parties. Yeah, I built a brand in a business. It's like, you know what? Wait, you threw the trump card.
Well,
hey, I got out of bed this morning.
Hey, there you go.
I'm pretty proud of that. So yeah. All right, we have about 5 minutes or so. But what have you watched recently that you can't stop recommending?
Fool Me Once, Netflix, amazing.
I feel like I've heard of that.
The
name
Bear
before.
on Hulu.
I've watched some of that.
I've seen that too.
That was pretty good.
Mm,
And Courtney, what was yours again?
It's called Fool Me Once. It's on Netflix.
Fool Me Once. Okay.
It's like 8 episodes, 8 or
Okay.
10. It's a really short series, but it's really, really good.
How long's each episode?
About an hour.
I'm gonna fall asleep during that.
You can.
So,
I'm not a really big TV girl. Like, it's
Mhm,
either a movie or nothing. It's either a movie or my phone.
mhm.
And so being able to actually watch a TV series is like a big thing for me because I want to do 20 other things if I get bored. But this TV series just kept me on edge like the entire time. So I never like got the chance to like want to do something else, and I kept just like pushing the next episode. Like I actually binged something for like the first
Wow.
time in a long time. So.
Is it like a mystery?
Yeah, kind of. So I won't say like a lot about it, but
Right.
this girl, she was married and her sister had died a few months prior to her husband dying, and they ended up finding out that the same type of bullet killed both of them. So they were
Oh,
trying
wow.
to figure out like who had the gun that killed both of her sister and her husband.
It was her. She did it.
I'm not telling.
You gotta watch
There's
it.
You have to get to know like his family though too, and his background, because for a minute they thought, or they were trying to say that they were like posing his death just to get away from his wife.
Mm.
So it's like a whole thing.
And the Bear on Hulu. That's like the restaurant thing, right?
Mhm.
I was making sure I got the same thing. My problem is I'm a critic by heart. I wish I could change it. So I'm very like a lot of TV shows now I think are horrible. The last one I saw that was like really good was it's called The Watcher on Netflix. It's a mystery. And just like quick synopsis, it's about a family that moved into a house. Mysterious figure keeps breaking in the house. They don't know how. They find some suspicious things in the basement, and the whole like 8-episode show is trying to figure out who it is. And what it does a good job is because most mysteries, it's like you got the super suspicious character that ends up having nothing to do with it, and then the clean cut neighbor, they did it.
Right.
This one it actually gives like the whole like neighborhood,
Mhm.
like it gives like history from like when it was built,
Right.
and like it pins everyone to like have motive,
Mhm.
and it makes you like I'm really good at like detecting like killers in horror movies, but this one like till the end I was like, yeah, it could be one of like 8 people.
Mm.
So that to me is like the last thing I saw where I was like, wow, that's good.
Oh, okay. Did you say something, Ben? Or
I made a sarcastic comment.
oh, well, sarcastic comments count too.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of something that I watched something too, but I kind of just watch stuff randomly. I haven't really sat down and watched a series in a while. I watch a lot of true crime stuff. That counts.
Yeah.
People disappearing in the woods. That's my favorite
Yeah.
niche, I suppose. It's gonna happen to me one day.
Well, I've been recommending this movie. It's about these people out in space, and they have like laser swords, and they're looking for this princess.
Do they
and-
war in the stars?
Kind of like a War in the Stars. I forget what the name is, but
I don't know.
Is it a
yeah.
galaxy very close to here?
No, it's far, far away.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Not too recent either.
yeah, not too. Yeah, well, it says the last time you. Yeah. Well, I guess it says watch recently. And we're still working our way through the Natalia one, the girl who the parents adopted her and thought she was older than she was, and basically aged her 15 years to 22 years old when she was really 8 or 9, and stuck her in an apartment in Lafayette of all places, and basically left her there to rot. And I'm at the point where I want to finish the series. I think I have 1 episode left, but I don't care about any of the characters. I hope they all Rondell. You know, it's like,
Here's the one question I have about that. Do they actually know, like, for an ending, is there an actual conclusion of how old she is and everything? Or is it,
yeah.
there's an actual ending to it?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not, like, still curious if she was older than she was or not.
No, not only through DNA, but you know, her bone growth and her dental records. Yeah, they can pin it within, you know, 1 or 2 years. And
Okay. That'll make it worth watching for me, knowing that, like,
Yeah.
you can actually have
If there wasn't an answer, I wouldn't.
Me too.
yeah.
I'm the opposite. I love stuff that ends on.
Really?
Oh yeah, I don't
that's
mind if
neat.
there's an answer. Yeah.
I'm
Depends on the
full
story.
for it.
If
Yeah.
if it's like a scary story, I don't need an ending. I'd like to better without an ending. But with
Uh-huh.
something like this, where I just kind of get annoyed, I want an answer.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, she was a kid, and now the whole question that really still hasn't been answered is why? Why did they do all this stuff to her? You know, they adopted her and then try to get rid of her, and it's like, well, just put her back up for adoption. Why not do that? Or, you
I think
know,
that's almost more traumatizing.
yeah, but
It's both bad.
yeah, season 2 is all her talking, and you know, her with her new family, and you know, I like the mother in the new family, but the father, he needs to go. Yeah, and well, he's well, he calls himself a bishop. He has his own little church that's his house, and
So he's
Yeah.
a fool.
how?
No, it's his house.
Well, he lives there, and they live, and she lives with them, but the church is connected to it, like physically connected to it.
Is it a cult?
I don't think so. It seems fairly mainstream, but he definitely likes himself very much, you know. And you know, there's, you know, people who have the cult of personality. There's narcissists, and then there's this guy, you know. So, and you know, they keep saying that Natalia or whatever her name is, you know, well, she's the evil one. She's a little evil, you know. I'm not going to give her a complete pass there, but yeah, definitely at least a tiny bit evil. So, but yeah, it's one of these, and I'm trudging through now that I've gone this far, and you know, finish that up. And but something I do recommend. It's Christmas season though. Klaus. If you haven't seen
No, that's
Klaus,
good.
that was really well done. I mean, no, it's been out for a couple of years, but if I'm going to be, you know, recommending Star Wars, I can recommend Klaus too. So, all right.
Which
Anyone
Star
else?
Wars do you recommend?
You have to watch the original, watch Empire Strikes Back, but Empire Strikes Back, of course. And after that, kind of fizzles. I did like Rogue One a lot.
That one's
I
good.
did too.
Yeah. So it was gritty. It was definitely set in the Star Wars universe, and yeah, you know, they didn't necessarily go for the, well, spoiler warning, didn't necessarily go for the happy ending. It was sort of a happy ending. Same thing with Empire Strikes Back. Sort of a happy ending. But it, yeah, it definitely leaves you hanging and gets you ready for, what is it, episode 6. But then episode 6, of course, Return of the Jedi. It's the teddy bear picnic. I just can't take that.
Really?
Yeah, it's. I mean, I understand. You know, how could they defeat the Empire? Well, they needed, you know, a group that flew under the radar that could still, you know, be effective in fighting against them. But they're teddy bears, and
But
yeah.
they eat people.
They do eat people. And nothing, you know, 900 blasts from outer space couldn't have taken care of.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of plot holes in any Star Wars movie, but yeah, you learn to live with that and move on. So, all right, I think we've hit our time here together. Anyone have any last words or final thoughts, feelings, concerns?
None that I can think of.
All right.
llamas.
Well, we'll be doing this again live next Wednesday, and hope you all tune in for that too. Bye.